A picture of Tara. Princess Tara loved riding her horse in the forest near her father's palace. But one day, her horse stopped suddenly. She saw smoke in the trees in front of her.
Fire,
she thought.
I must go up a tree to see it better.
From the tree, she could see everything. The fire moved east very fast. In front of it ran many animals and birds. Princess Tara watched one family of birds. The father and mother birds wanted to carry the young birds because they couldn't fly. But it wasn't easy, and the fire came nearer and nearer. In the end, the father bird flew away from the fire, but the mother bird stayed with the young birds and died with them. After that, Princess Tara rode sadly back to the palace, and she thought about the birds and about men and women.
We're no different from those birds,
she said.
Women think of their children first, but men don't. I'm never going to marry one of them.
So she told everybody in her country.
I'm never going to marry.
After some time, a man arrived at the palace and painted some pictures for the king. One day, he saw the princess in the garden with a book. He painted her secretly because he liked her face. The next morning, he left the palace and he took the picture of Tara with him. Some months later, a rich king in a far country bought the picture of Tara. He put it in his palace for everyone to see.
What a beautiful girl,
they all said. Now this king had a son. He was called Vikram. Vikram looked at the picture of Tara every day, and one day he said to his father,
I'm going to find that girl and marry her.
But my son,
answered the king,
who is she? Nobody knows.
The painter knew her,
said Vikram.
Where is he?
But nobody could say. Vikram was very sad, and the Prime Minister's daughter, Lata, was sorry for him.
Prince Vikram,
she said,
I can paint well, you know that. So I'm going to paint a small picture of the girl's face, and then I'm going to look for her.
Thank you, Lata,
said Vikram.
And good luck.
So the next day, Lata painted a new, smaller picture of Tara's face, and she left the palace with it. She went to many countries, but nobody knew the girl in the picture. In the end, very far from home, she came to a new country. When the people there saw the picture, they said,
Oh, yes, that's our Princess Tara.
She doesn't want to marry, you know.
It's a very good picture of her.
Why doesn't Tara want to marry?
Lata asked. But nobody knew. So Lata went to Tara's palace.
I'm a painter,
she said to Tara's father, the king.
Can I do some work for you?
What can you paint?
Asked the king.
I like painting people,
Answered Lata.
Shall I paint your children?
I have only one daughter.
Answered the king sadly.
Can you paint her?
Of course,
Said Lata. At first, Tara wasn't interested, but Lata talked to her, and in the end the princess said,
All right. You can paint my picture, but you must talk to me when you are painting.
So every morning, Lata came to paint the picture of Tara, and they talked. Soon, they were friends. The day before she finished the picture, Lata asked Tara.
Why don't you want to marry?
Tara smiled.
Everybody asks me that. They don't understand me,
She said.
but perhaps I can tell my secret to you.
And she told Lata all about the forest fire and the birds. Lata thought quickly.
I know a prince in a far country,
She said.
He saw a forest fire, and it changed him too. Before he saw the fire, he was a happy young man, but now he is sad, and he doesn't want to marry. I can't tell you about it because it's a secret, but I can paint a picture of it for you.
Can I see your picture tomorrow?
Said Tara. Lata painted all night. In her picture, she painted a big forest fire and many animals. At the front of the picture stood Prince Vikram, and not far from him was a family of deer. The father deer was near the fire with the young deer, but the mother deer stood far away from the fire and from her family. Early next morning, the picture was ready, and Tara came to Lata's room.
Where's your picture?
Asked Tara.
I couldn't sleep last night because I wanted to see it.
Here it is,
Answered Lata.
Do you like it?
Tara looked at the picture carefully.
But the mother deer is not with her family.
She cried.
Is this picture true?
The prince saw this happen,
Answered Lata.
and so now, for him, all women are bad.
But not all women are bad.
Said Tara.
The prince is wrong.
Is he?
Asked Lata.
Then perhaps you are wrong about men.
Tara went to her room at once, and nobody saw her again all day. The next morning, she called Lata to her room.
I would like to meet your prince,
She said.
Perhaps I can help him.
Lata smiled.
You can. I'm sure,
She said.
Come with me to visit him.
So, what happened when Tara met Vikram? It was true love, of course. And soon after they met, they married and were very happy.